are you feeling? This is your first Comic-Con as a cast. Everyone knows and has strong feelings about Anne Rice. What is that pressure like and excitement?
The pressure is immense, but also I think it's this strange thing because we don't want to give too much away, but we also know how much the show is her and we all love the books. You know?
Oh, so you all love the books.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But also that, yeah, because we talk about pressure a lot in all of these interviews. I think it's quite interesting that's usually the first thing everyone wants to talk about, because we also feel that pressure. Like, when you love something so much, and it's different reading something as a fan of a book and then having to read it again, realizing you're going to play the character in that book that you've always loved. So there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. But the love of these books, our love of these books, the show creators' love of these books, and the joy that we get to have to explore all of the universe and all of those books, we're so excited to share it with people. We can't wait for people to see it. Yeah.
So, I love that all of you are huge fans of the book and really want to put so much passion into the story. And I love the changes that have been made already, right? We see we're going into the Jazz Age. What has been the most exciting element of this new set piece, of these changes that you didn't previously read about or get to see?
I think there's something really exciting about the premise of the second interview, because I think, for one, it opens up the world. It opens up Lestat, frankly, because this is a Lestat that you haven't necessarily seen on screen before, because we're widening out. We get to delve into all of the books, and also that Louis changed a lot, and he's kind of rethinking how things actually happened and what he feels about them, what he feels about these people, I keep saying people, how he feels about his family, and reassess it. And I think that's a really exciting change. It's
And another thing I really enjoyed about this time period is Lestat loves music. He's really into music. And so there's a lot of music in this show, and it's beautiful. Yeah. And we've got Daniel Hart doing the soundtrack, and it's so beautiful.
Oh, well.
And the environment is gorgeous, and really it made our lives so much easier just playing in this completely all-encompassing world that Mara created for us. And it was very immersive and very emotional. You're always in deep emotions in this show, as far as I always was.
Speaking of emotional, Claudia is such a tragic character, just in terms of her youth combined with the immortality, are two things that shouldn't be mixing in the first place. Can you talk about approaching her and what is different about her in this adaptation?
Claudia is an absolute dream role. When I booked the role, I was excited to completely dive in, and her being 14 was really interesting because she's stopped being in puberty or starting puberty, right? So she was so close to becoming that woman, but it was taken away from her. She was turned into a vampire, and she really didn't have much choice. And in that, I got to explore all of those raging hormones that she will be stuck with in her entire life because she was turned when she was 14, but then also craving that love that she wants so much.
Yeah. And on the opposite end, not experiencing immortality, we have Daniel.
And I'm not 19 anymore,
you're right,
or
exactly.
14 anymore. Right?
It's interesting to see you reflecting back on yourself, right, as an actor. You've got a younger character version of yourself, and these guys are going to be the same for all ages. What is that experience like for you?
Well, the first part of the younger character thing is the younger me, and there is a younger me who shows up in this show, and so so this is a very nostalgic. Well, I never do any scenes with him, so I don't. But yeah, I mean, in my real life, I'm at a time in my life where I'm looking back. What is so funny?
I'm not sure if you're supposed to say that or not.
What?
I think we made it worse.
It's
happening.
We could have just
let it
there.
happen.
I'm pretty sure that's
all these forbidden fruit in this show.
There's a lot of Easter eggs. There really are, and it's hard to not tell them.
Well, anyway, my character is of an age and of a mindset where he's had a life, he's had his highs, he's had his lows, and actually he's not in the best place as things start. And this interview is going to let him go for the brass ring one more time. And I think to some degree it's not really where I'm at in my life, but I mean, there is some part of that in my life where certainly in my 60s, I'm looking back at my life and what did I do, what didn't I do, what opportunities did I miss. And so, yeah, I get to play it very close to my own personal vibe.
Daniel's much grumpier than you are, though. You're like a stealthily lovely human being.
Oh, stop.
Stealthily lovely?
I'm very, you haven't seen my full grumpy yet.
Try and pretend. But
Now, Louis and Lestat have, an iconic relationship, epic, spanning years and continents, lives ruined, bloodshed. What is it like bringing that to the screen and working together to really establish that immortal bond?
I mean, it's been the greatest partnership, creative partnership in my life. No, I'm not joking. It really has.
I'd agree actually, because it's actually very hard. It's a very intense relationship that they have, and you have to believe in that relationship, and the things that they do to each other are so extreme and painful and hurtful, and it's been fun to have a real buddy to go through that with and debrief at the end of the day.
I'm not sure how we could have done everything that we've done if we weren't if we didn't really trust each other.
Yeah,
and weren't.
Yeah, it would have been awful if we hated each other.
Yeah, and it is it's one of the great in the books, it's like when they join together again, it's such a even though you know how awful they've been to each other, it's just it's like you're home. And I think that's something that we always subconsciously try to make sure was in there, that they are kind of home to each other, particularly after Louis' human attachments start to kind of fall away, which is also very difficult for Claudia.
Yeah, exactly.
Low key, I say that I adopted some of Claudia's emotions even post being on set, and sometimes I'll watch a scene or I'll hear some of the things and I'm like, dang it. Because Claudia works so hard for Louis' love. That's her best friend, truly her best friend. And even watching the show, and I'm not on set anymore, I have that anger and that annoyance. Lestat is always there. He's always coming back.
Oh, so you are like that best friend that's like, girl, please leave him. Leave him.
Yes, and we explore way
good for
more
you.
of that in the show, which was really, really fun to play. There's so many interesting, elaborate dynamics.
Absolutely. And you are even further removed from what they have. What is that experience for Daniel? He's wanting something, like you said, going for this brass ring that he cannot attain.
Yeah, well, this is an ambitious guy, and the thing is, in order to reach out for this interview, which is fallen into his lap, it's dangerous. I mean, to go back and start hanging around with these guys again, you're taking your life in your hands at any given moment. And so, but I think there's a part of this guy that isn't me, that is Daniel, which is he is going to get the story. And he doesn't give a shit, whether he gets killed doing it. That's the kind of reporter he is. That's the kind of journalist he is. That's his credo, is to go get it. Even if it ruins his whole life, he's going to go get that story.
You get a bit scared though, doesn't he?
He gets scared. You got to be scared. That's what courage is moving forward in fear. It's a very courageous character.
Oh, the hero of our story.
He's the hero of And I just want to say, these two guys, it's great watching them. They're bonding and everything. The only difference between them and the guys in the fictional world, I've never seen them fight.
Oh.
I've never seen you guys
They're
get
adorable.
yelled
They were
at.
walking together alongside the San Diego beach. Like
Aww.
you were. I mean, how adorable is
Picture
that?
us.
We're quite codependent. I don't know if that's a problem.
So, going down the line, what is one thing each of you are most excited for fans to see? Either that it comes from the book or that it doesn't.
Well, for me, the world is so total and so immersive and so gorgeous that I know that visually, this is a terrific show. Great to just look at. You could look at it with the sound off. It would be amazing to watch.
How about you? Yeah, whoever wants to go, you can go.
Well, I mean, they can be excited about everything Eric's just told you about the. Sorry, not. It's a bad joke.
Daniel just told you, yes.
No, Eric just told you.
Yes.
I'm really. It sounds like a strange thing, but because of all of the pressure that we're talking about, like I'm really excited for Anne Rice fans like myself and like Sam and like Bailey and like Eric and Rollin and Mark Johnson and Jess Howard and like all these, like we love these stories, and I can't wait for that moment where other Anne Rice fans go, oh yeah, these are my these are the characters that I love. These are my vampires. These are, this is my Daniel. Yeah.
My Daniel.
Oh, I love that.
I'm not crying, by the way. I just had something in my head. It sounds
was
like
so
I'm going.
perfectly timed. You should have just let it be like, and then he teared up. The emotions were so strong.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited for Anne Rice fans to actually get to see Louis and Lestat in a romantic relationship. And we're not shying away from that in any way, shape or form at all. And don't even bother, it's straight up from the very
Can't say
beginning.
they're besties.
Never. No, it's love
They
at
actually
first
kind
sight.
of don't like each other. They're just very in love.
Yeah, very in love. I mean, it's love at first sight, and Anne was very, very clear about that for Lestat, at least. He had to really do a bit of wooing to get him there, but he gets it.
Sometimes you gotta be willing.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited for people to see that because everyone deserves that. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm excited for people to see how powerful Claudia is. She continues to persevere through all the situations that she's in, and we really, really explore that in the show. Along with that, the dynamic between Claudia, Louis, and Lestat, and it changes through the episodes. And even watching, you're on the edge of your seat because it's like, who's the villain here? We don't really know because it's so complex and really beautiful, and I'm excited for fans to see that dynamic.
A real family.
Sometimes.
It's a very,
Well, real
very,
families
very,
can get pretty, intense
We're very
as well. Yeah,
dysfunctional.
exactly.
Every family is
Yeah.
perfect.
Spoken like Lestat.
Well, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. I hope that you
Thank
guys
you.
enjoy your Comic-Con. Yeah. So
Thanks.
farewell.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.